in the middle of our 3-week series of pranayama. Of course, we're on the 8-limb path, both philosophically and then also as a series of classes. And pranayama is the 4th limb. It's where we start to transition from the physical practices into the more, we'll call them less physical practices, the more esoteric ones. It gets a little harder from here on out. But the first 4 limbs especially help to prepare our systems enough to go into deeper states of consciousness. And so pranayama especially helps to take whatever is there energetically for you and help bring it into a state of balance, or I would even say stillness or steadiness. And you can go back to the class on steadiness from the asana series if you want to dig into that a bit deeper. And one of the practices that probably does one of the best jobs of balancing your energy or helping to control it, if you will, pranayama actually means to control prana, is Nadi Shodhana or Nadi Shodhana. It goes by either name. It's also called alternate nostril breathing. And we're going to practice that one today. That's going to be our goal. Now, as we get into some of these more technical pranayamas, we have to practice other pranayama to get ourselves ready for them. So while we are focusing on Nadi Shodhana tonight, we're actually going to do at least 3 different pranayamas total. We're going to practice Kapalabhati, which is the breath of fire. That'll help prepare our nostrils to be able to breathe as evenly as possible in them. And then we're going to practice Samavritti, which is the even breath, inhaling and exhaling for equal lengths of time. And so for one class, you get three pranayamas. Now, I teach Nadi Shodhana in Essential Pranayama quite a few times because it, again, is you can prepare for it, and it's also a preparatory step for other pranayamas as well. And then depending on how you breathe, or what you're trying to achieve, I should say, you can do different forms of it. The version that we'll do today is on page 62, which is balancing Nadi Shodhanam, where we inhale and exhale for equal counts, balancing through each nostril. And I'll lead you through the practice itself here in just a moment. Now, the reason why this helps to balance the energy in the body is that there are 3 primary energy channels in the system called nadis. And there is the Ida Nadi, which is the more feminine energy movement in the body. There is Pingala Nadi, which is more masculine. And then there is Sushumna Nadi, which is the central channel that moves through the spine. We did a series last summer on this, if you remember that. And what we do with Nadi Shodhanam is actually bring just equal balance to all of the nadis, which helps to calm the system. And as the yogis say, eventually allowing Kundalini Shakti to rise through the spine, or just greater enlightenment, if you will. So that's what we're going to do today. Now, the technical aspects of it, and I'll go through this more briefly later on, is you're going to use your right hand, no matter if you're left or right-handed, and you'll bend in the first 2 fingers, your pointer finger and your middle finger. And so this is called Vishnu Mudra. And when the time comes, you'll use the thumb to block your right nostril, and you use the 2 little fingers to block the left nostril, and we'll alternate back and forth as I guide you. Now, I understand that for some of us, we don't have access to breath in both nostrils for one reason or another. And so we'll do a couple of things to help that. And then there's even a caveat if you're still not able to, okay? The first thing that we'll do is we'll practice Kapalabhati, the breath of fire, which is this big breath through the nose. There's actually a shot kriya, which helps to cleanse the body out. Now, that might help give you some access to both nostrils. If at the end of the day, one nostril is just blocked or both nostrils are blocked, maybe you have a cold or something, or maybe allergies, it's the spring, you can do what's called mental alternate nostril breathing, or Anuloma Viloma. And essentially you do the exact same thing I'm asking you to do, except you just will do it mentally. You'll just have both hands on your knees and just be imagining the breath moving through singular nostrils, okay? So if you can't do it physically, you do it mentally, and you'll still actually get similar effects for it because we're working with energy here, not so much the physical body, all right? So let's start with some Kapalabhati. Even before we get centered, we're gonna do Kapalabhati because it's kind of a vigorous practice, and I want to make sure that we get nice and cleaned out first. So just as a reminder, Kapalabhati, or the breath of fire, is a quick exhale from the abdomen, and the inhale is passive. So it's the same physical sensation of blowing out a candle. If you had a candle in front of you, just the belly snaps back. You don't even think about the inhale. The breath itself is actually done through the nose, but it's the same physical engagement. And you can start out a slow, steady pumping like that. If you are more practiced at this, you can go quicker. Now, if you start to feel really lightheaded, like you're about to pass out, that is your body's signal to slow down. I've never had anybody pass out. Just stop if you have to. So we'll do at least 2 rounds of Kapalabhati for about 30 to 45 seconds each. And then after that, we'll go into a practice of Samavriti Pranayama, which is the even breath. And we'll eventually build our way toward Nadi Shodhana later in class, okay? So go ahead and sit comfortably if you are not doing so already. Just relax your shoulders down your back for a moment, just grounding into this system, this body, this breath, this energy and mind. And just taking a few breaths to start. And feeling the movement of your abdomen, or allowing the breath to settle into the abdomen. When we practice the breath of fire, the movement or the breath is happening from the belly. If you try to do it from the chest, that's where we start to hyperventilate and feel a bit lightheaded. So again, the movement is in the abdomen. And so we'll go for 30 seconds of Kapalabhati. Take a deep breath in to begin. Inhale, then exhale softly. Feel sensation, maybe a lightness in the brain, a clearing in the nostrils, maybe some energy at the navel. And then we'll do another round going for about 45 seconds this time. Go at your own pace. Deep breath in. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Allow the breath to adjust, breathing normally. Feeling the sensation of the breath in the nostrils. And the feeling of the breath at the back of your throat. And the sensation of the lungs filling with breath on inhale, and the sensation of the lungs emptying of breath on exhale. As the breath settles from this pranayama, the Kapalabhati technique, as you adjust to sensations, lightness in the brain, energy at the navel, we'll engage Samavriti Pranayama, the even breath. And so to achieve this, you can inhale for a certain number of counts and exhale for an equal number of counts. And a count is whatever you use for internal measurement. an estimated second, the sound of a word or syllable. Just do your best. Inhaling for a certain number of counts. And exhaling for an equal number of counts. And continue. Samavriti pranayama. Translated, it means same wave. If the breath is a continuous wave, you rise equally, you descend equally. And through balancing the breath like this, we're also balancing the hemispheres of the brain, the left and right side, creating harmony. If there is this feeling of erratic energy in your body, whether it's lethargy or whether it is frenetic energy, Samavriti helps to bring you back to that central, balanced, energetic point. Inhaling for a certain number of counts, exhaling for an equal number of counts, just for a few more rounds. Good. One more round, Samavriti Pranayama. And as you finish this exhale, you can release the technique. And let us chant Om 3 times. Deep breath in. Oh. 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 Speak your palms to your heart and lower the chin. And to honor yourself as you are in this moment, this body, breath, this energetic state, the state of mind. Just setting the intention that this practice can provide any support or relief to any of these realms of our system. So go ahead and rub the palms together. And take the heated palms over the eyes, and brushing back over the top of your head, down your neck. Welcome back. Good. We're going to start off on hands and knees tonight. So we got to move your props off to the side and come on to hands and knees. So table pose, hands under your shoulders, knees beneath the hips. Good. Now, before we start moving, I want you to reconnect to Samavriti, to the even breath. Inhaling for a certain number of counts, exhaling for an equal number of counts. Good. Now, staying with this even breath, keeping it with you, will begin to move. So with your next equal exhale, go all the way back to child's pose. Then inhale, float back up to hands and knees. Again, exhale, go back to to child's pose, sorry. Inhale back up to hands and knees. Let's do this a couple more times. And moving with the even breath. Linking the breath and movement in this way can be difficult sometimes, but you'll get some practice in with that tonight. Let's add downward facing dog with your next exhale. Again, breathing evenly, lift into downward facing dog. Then inhale, float down onto hands and knees. Release the feet, child's pose. And let's continue moving between these three postures. Inhaling to hands and knees, exhaling to downward facing dog or child's pose, alternating between the two and breathing evenly as best you can the entire time. Keeping the breath even is probably going to be the most challenging aspect of the practice so far. It adds a level of intention into the practice. You're not just flailing between postures, but you're moving methodically. Let's do just a couple more rounds. Keep moving with Samavriti. And breathing evenly also does something to the mind. It keeps it from spinning so far away from the practice. It allows you to stay just a hair more present than you might have otherwise. Take your time getting there, but as you land in downward facing dog, stay, but keep breathing evenly. You can walk the dog out if you'd like to here. Good. Now please do your best. Keep breathing evenly. Come into plank pose. Inhale. Even exhale, come down to chaturanga. Press the arms straight. Come into upward facing dog. Even breath. Even breath back to downward facing dog. So we're working with Danda Kriya here. Inhale, plank pose. Chaturanga slowly. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Keep breathing evenly. Plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. We're going to do 2 more rounds. Plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Again, plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing. And downward facing dog. Stay in down dog. And breathe in down dog. Now, if you've let go of the even breath, I'm going to again ask you to bring it back. Do your best. Please come into plank and hold plank pose. Breathe evenly. Take your even inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, chest 1 inch from the floor. You can bring your knees to the ground here if you'd like to, but keep the chest hovering. Breathe evenly. Do your best. Inhale, press into upward facing dog. Take the shoulders back, lift the heart. Breathe evenly. Even inhale. Even exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe evenly. Inhale, float down onto hands and knees. Exhale, child's pose. Good. Take an adjusting breath. You can turn the palms face up if the wrists are feeling it. Good. All right. Palms to the floor. Come up to hands and knees. Downward facing dog, and walk your hands back to meet your feet, coming into Uttanasana. And relax the knees a little bit here. Drape the body over the legs. Release your head. And you can just hang forward here for a bit, or if you'd like to, you can hold on to opposite elbows. You could interlace your fingers at the lower back and lift the arms off the back. Just take a few breaths. Good, all right. Releasing the hands to the floor, press palms to shins, come halfway up, inhale. And exhale, float down. And sweep the arms out to the side with a flat back, come all the way up. And palms to your heart. Good, take an adjusting breath. Good, breathing Samavriti while you move is not the easiest thing to do, so great job with the warm-up so far. Good. So for the sake of the practice, we're actually going to move into our sun salutation now. So it technically counts as part of our warm-up. And for the first few rounds, we're going to move, normally, as we would normally, breathing and moving. And after a while, we're going to bring in Samavriti. Okay. And again, like the Samavriti is building us toward Nadi Shodhana, just like Kapalabhati was before. So all of it will come together here soon. So go ahead and step to the top of your mat, whichever direction that is for you, and bring your feet about hip distance apart, palms to your heart. And just find the breath to start, aware of the inhale and aware of your exhale. Good. So with your next inhale, please sweep your arms down, back, and up. Exhale, bend the knees, chair prep. Inhale, chair pose. And stay for your exhale. Inhale, straighten the legs. And exhale, swan dive, fold forward. Press palms to shins, come halfway up. And exhale, release, step the right foot way back. Take the back knee to the floor. Take the right hand to the floor. Inhale, reach the left arm forward, up into a twist. Take it far back behind you, and then bring it flat to the floor. Now let's step back to downward facing dog. And you guessed it, Danda Kriya. Inhale, plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing. And downward facing dog. Good. Go ahead and lift your right leg high into the air behind you. Inhale. And exhale, step that right foot through, help it forward. Back knee on the ground, left hand on the floor. Reach your right arm forward. Inhale, up, back, and then down. Step the back foot forward. Palms to shins halfway up. Extend your spine. And exhale, fold. Sweep the arms out to the side. Come all the way up. Inhale. And palms to the heart. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Bend the knees, chair prep, chair pose. And stay for the exhale. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold forward. Palms to shins, halfway up. And exhale, release, step the left foot back. Left knee on the ground, left hand on the ground. Inhale, reach the right arm forward and up. Exhale, take it back and down. Step back to downward facing dog. Danda Kriya on your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Downward facing dog. Lift the left leg high And step that foot on through, help it forward, back knee to the floor, right hand to the floor. Go ahead and reach the left arm forward, up, back, and down. Step the right foot forward, Uttanasana. Palms to shins, halfway up, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up. And palms to the heart. Good, we're gonna continue here in just a second, but find your even breath again, the Samavriti Pranayama. And even though the breath is even, doesn't mean it has to be a long breath. You don't have to be like 6 counts or something. It might be a 3 count inhale, a 3 count exhale. So find a length of breath that works for you and the movement, all right? So if you need to adjust as we go through, adjust as we go through. So find an easy breath to achieve here, Samavriti. And with your next inhale, sweep the arms up, even breath. Chair prep, even breath. Chair pose, even breath. Exhale, stay. Even inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Palms to shins. Exhale, fold and step the right foot back. That's all one breath. Knee to the ground, right hand to the ground. Inhale, reach the left arm forward and up. Exhale, take it back and down. Step back to downward facing dog. Dandakriya, on your breath. Once you return to down dog, inhale, lift the right leg up. And exhale, step the right foot through. Back knee to the ground, left hand on the ground. Inhale, right arm forward, up. Exhale, back and down. Step the left foot forward. Palms to shins. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms out to the side and he'll come all the way up. Palms to the heart. Bring back the even breath if you've lost it. We'll continue. Inhale, sweep up. Chair prep. Chair pose. Stay for the exhale, breathing evenly. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Palms to shins. Left foot steps back. Knee to the ground, left hand to the ground. Inhale, reach forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Step back to downward facing dog. Breathing evenly, Dandakriya. Good. Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, step it on through. Back knee to the ground, right hand to the ground. Inhale, reach the right arm forward and up. Exhale, take it back and down. Step the right foot forward, Uttanasana. Palms to shins, halfway up, even breath. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up. Palms to heart. Again, grounding into that even breath. I'll give you some different variations this time for poses, but you'll be good. You'll get it. With your inhale, sweep the arms up. Chair prep. Chair pose. Stay for the exhale. Reach. Fold. Breathing evenly, halfway. And fold. Take the right foot back. You can either keep the back knee lifting this time or take the back knee to the ground. Right hand is on the ground. Inhale, reach the left arm forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Downward facing dog. Breathing evenly, Dandakriya. Good. Once you're in down dog, right leg lifts. Step the right foot forward. Again, the back knee can be lifted or it can come to the ground. Left hand is on the floor. Even inhale, reach forward and up. Even exhale, reach back And down, step the left foot forward, Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up. And palms to the heart. We're gonna do one more round. Inhale, sweep up, even breathing. Chair prep. Chair. Stay for the exhale. Lift. And fold. Halfway. And down. Left foot steps back this time. Knee can come to the ground or can stay lifting. Left hand on the floor. Inhale, reach the right arm forward and up. Exhale, take it back and down, downward facing dog. Breathing evenly. Danda Kriya. Returning to downward facing dog with an inhale, lift the left leg high, and exhale, step the foot on through, help it forward. Back knee can stay lifted if you want. Right hand on the ground. Inhale, left arm forward, up, back, down, step forward. Good, palms to shins halfway. Exhale, all the way up, inhale. Palms to heart. Taking an adjusting breath here, feeling sensation, body, breath, mind. And here's where we'll practice Nadi Shodhana for the first time, okay? So again, the right hand, no matter what hand is your dominant hand, is the one you'll use. You'll bend in the first two fingers, the little fingers left over, and the thumb left over. The thumb will block the right nostril, the two fingers will block the left nostril. Now, as we're breathing through alternating nostrils, we'll also be breathing samavriti. So find a length of breath, a number of counts that works for you without making you anxious, and we'll work with that. So go ahead and start by blocking your right nostril. And then inhale for an even count through the left. And then block the left nostril, release the right, exhale right. Inhale right. Block the right, open the left, exhale left. Let's keep that going. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. One more time. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. Release the palm. Breathe through. Keep breathing samavriti for a couple of rounds, but breathe through both nostrils. And then just notice how you feel, letting go of the effort of the practice. Again, the goal of Nadi Shodhana is to create a sense of balance. Maybe the mind feels a bit calmer, a bit more one-pointed. Maybe the nervous movements of your body have started to settle toward a central line. Or whatever other experience you might be having. These are just suggestions. Okay, so bringing your awareness back. Good job with those movements. Between the Samavritti and the Nadi Shodhanam, that helps just to really bring everything into a nice balance. So what we'll practice next is using Samavritti to help us stay balanced when things start to get a little dicey. So from the front of your mat, go ahead and step your right foot way back. Take the back foot flat to the floor, toes pointing out to the side. This is the Warrior Two stance. So it's a bit wider than what we have for Warrior One. And you're gonna have your hands on your hips to start. And it's good to move in and out dynamically a couple of times to let our bodies know where we're going. So take a deep breath in. With your exhale, bend your left knee toward the middle toe, sinking down deep. Good, then come back up. Then exhale, sink a bit deeper. And back up. We'll do a couple more times. And you don't want the front knee to go any further than the ankle. All right, so if you find it jutting pretty far out, widen your stance. Take the back foot back even a bit further so you can sink really deeply here. Good. Good. Take the arms out to the side, turn the palms up, sink in, and gaze just beyond the front middle finger. Stay in the pose and find Sama Vritti here. Inhaling for a certain number of counts. Exhaling for an equal number of counts. One more breath. And then inhale, straighten the leg and release the arms. And just feel sensation again, always grounding into that experience. We practiced Warrior Two, which can be a bit difficult, a little shaky sometimes, if not always. But we had that even breath with us. Did that change the quality of the practice for you from when you've done it before? Just take a note. So to do the other side, all you have to do is switch the angles of your feet to point in the other direction. Of course, you can always step forward and step a foot back. Just make sure your right foot is forward, your left foot is back, flat on the floor. And we'll go in and out again a few times just to get into our bodies. So holding onto the hips, take a deep breath in. And exhale, go ahead and bend the right knee toward its middle toe, sinking down deeply, and then come back up. Now again, that front knee, you don't want to go any further than the ankle. So if you need to, you can widen your stance. Exhale, sink in. Inhale back up. Exhale, sink in. Inhale back up. Take the arms out to the side, turn the palms toward the ceiling, and sink in and stay, gazing beyond the front middle finger, and find your even breath. Inhaling for a certain number of counts, exhaling for an equal number of counts. One more breath. Inhale, straighten the knee. Exhale, release the arms. And again, tune in. What's going on in here? What's going on in the mind, the energy, the body, the breath? Good. All right. So to give your legs a break, go ahead and step them together as best you can. And I'll demonstrate quickly the next exercise. And one thing you might need for this one is a block or something like a block. And it's just going to be for your hand to reach the ground if you need it. We're going to practice revolved triangle pose. So we're going to actually start in a stance just like we were just in. We'll take the arms out to the side. You can just watch me first. And then I'm going to spin my body to look forward and then keep spinning, bringing the left hand to the inside of my right foot and taking my right arm into the air to twist. Now, if the floor feels far away here, that's where you can bring your block next to the right foot, and it can be on height 1, which is just as low as it goes, height 2, or even height 3. All right. So if you're using that, or a stack of books would work too, to come into the pose. And once we hold the posture, we'll do a little work with the breath and some visualizations. All right. So go ahead and come into a wide leg stance. Or warrior two stance, I should say, with your right foot forward, your left foot back, back foot flat on the floor, toes pointing out to the side. It's a nice wide stance here. Good. And then go ahead and take the arms out to the side like you would if you were about to come into warrior two. Good news is we're not. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, twist to look forward, then sweep the left hand down to the floor next to the right foot on the block or not on the block. Good. And then might take another breath. And then exhale, roll the right shoulder back, twist, maybe looking up in the air. Parivriti Trikonasana, revolved triangle pose. Good. Now with too much to have a hand in the air, you can bring the right hand onto the right hip. Just do your best. And then become aware of the flow of the breath in your right nostril, just the right nostril. Of course, you know the breath is moving through both, but just be aware of the right. And if you can, breathe Samavriti into that right nostril. Breathing Samavriti to that right nostril. One more breath. And then as you come out of the pose, just go ahead and fold over the right leg for a moment, bringing both hands to either side of the right foot. Sense the breath moving in both nostrils. Breathing Samavriti if you want. Good, all right. Go ahead and you can roll your spine up if you want to. And step the left foot forward. Now before we do the other side, bring your right hand back into Vishnu Mudra. Go ahead and block the left nostril. And listen carefully, the instructions will change. Inhale right. Exhale right. In right. Out right. In right. Out right. In right. Out left. And release. All right. So we'll find balance by doing the posture on the other side and then coming up and doing the Nadi Shodhana, but with more emphasis on the left nostril, okay? So from the front of your mat, go ahead and step your right foot back. Take your back foot flat to the floor. Good. Just make sure it's the other side from what you did before. We're trying to achieve balance here. Make sure this is not the same side. Then take the arms out just like you would if you were about to sink into warrior. Take a deep breath in. Then exhale, twist to look forward. Then sweep the right hand down next to the left foot. Now, you can bring the hand onto a block as well. Take a breath in here. Then exhale, roll the left shoulder back to twist. Now, again, if it's too much to have the hand in the air, you could bring it onto your hip. Just keep the shoulder working back. Good. Now, as you hold the pose, become aware of the breath exclusively in the left nostril. And breathe samavriti with awareness of the breath in the left nostril. Breathing samavriti to the left nostril, just a couple more rounds. And then inhale, unwind, fold over the left leg. Both hands on the ground or blocks. Sense the breath in both nostrils now, and if it feels all right for you, do samavriti. All right, go ahead and bring yourself up. And step the feet together. Bring the right hand into Vishnu Mudra. Go ahead and block the right nostril. Inhale in left. Out left. Breathing evenly. In left. Out left. In left. Out left. In left. Out right. And release. Good. So when we do the emphasis of the breath in the right nostril, activating or calling into balance the more solar side of our system. And when we focus more on the left nostril, it's more the lunar side or more feminine side. And so even though we didn't do Nadi Shodhana at the same time with each nostril like that, we actually used the body. We used the visualization in the singular nostril with samavriti, and then we used the one-sided Nadi Shodhana to create balance on one side, then we did it for the other. And the idea is that after having done both exercises, or the exercise ones on each side, is that the system feels a bit more grounded. So that might be your experience here. So we're gonna bring our energy a little bit back down to the ground. So go ahead and just step to the top of your mat if you're not there already. You know I like transitions, so go ahead and sweep the arms up, inhale. Exhale, swan dive, folding forward, palms to shins. Exhale, release. walk or hop back to downward facing dog. Inhale into plank. And this time we'll plank ourselves just all the way to the ground. Come all the way down. All right. So feeling your pelvis ground, hands under your shoulders. Go ahead and roll the shoulders down the back. Lift the head, chest, and legs. Coming into locust pose. Get light on the hands. Squeeze the elbows in towards your sides. Lift up a little bit higher. And for a few rounds, you guessed it, Samavriti. Squeeze up the legs behind you. One more breath, inhale. Don't collapse, slowly release down, exhale. Downward facing dog, take your time. Feel some length in your spine here as you softly bend the knees, shooting the hips toward the ceiling. Big length in your spine. And then float down onto hands and knees and release to child's pose. Good. Right. So go ahead and bring yourself back up. And we're going to come to a seat with your legs in front of you. Good. So we're just going to do a seated twist, and I'm going to give you a couple of variations depending on your level of practice. So the right knee will be bent on top, and you can have it on the inside or the outside of the left leg. The inside's going to be easier, the outside's going to be harder. Now, if you have the leg on the outside and you want to take this a step further, you can take the front leg, the left leg in this case, and tuck it behind you. But only do that as if you come to this pose, both hips are firmly rooted on the floor. If one's kind of leaning up, it's not time yet. Bring that left foot forward again. All right. So those are your options here. The right knee is the knee on top. And because it's the knee on top, it's the hand that goes behind your back, right next to the spine. Then inhale, lift the left arm up. And then exhale, sweep the arm across, hook the knee, twist, look over your right shoulder behind you. Good. Now, as you stay in the pose, sit up taller. Inhale. And exhale, twist a bit deeper. Sitting up taller. Inhale. Twisting a bit deeper. Exhale. A few more breaths. Good. All right. Inhale, carefully unwind. All right. Let's switch sides. So again, starting at the beginning, depending on which one you want to do, the left knee is going to be bent. You can have it on the inside or outside of the foot or the opposite leg. If you have it on the outside, you might be able to tuck the right leg behind you, but only do so if both hips are on the ground. If not, bring that right leg forward again. Left knee on top, left hand behind your spine. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, sweep that arm across, hook the knee and twist, looking over your left shoulder. Good. Now, once you're in the pose, inhale, sit up a bit taller. Exhale, take the left shoulder back a bit further. Breathe. Good. Inhale, carefully unwind. and uncross. And go ahead and just have both legs forward now. And we're just going to come into a forward fold. You could also sit on a folded blanket here if you would like a bit more access to your hamstrings or your lower back, or you just want to sit on something comfortable. Okay, you can sit on something comfortable. Now, legs are activated, sit up as tall as you can. Inhale, lift the arms up. And then exhale, think about draping the belly, then the chest down toward the legs. Now, you don't have to regret grabbing the feet here. We're not trying to extend the shoulders. The arms can just, or the hands can just hold on to the legs or next to the legs if you'd like to. Grabbing the feet is not the goal here. Feeling yourself sink into this forward fold, bring back the Samavriti Pranayama. You're going to be hearing that word in your sleep, Samavriti. Same wave, balance, harmony. Balance is so important in this practice of yoga. Not balancing on one leg, even though that can be fun, but to feel balanced at every level of our being. To feel steady, to feel secure, to not be swayed by the highs and lows of life, to not be thrown off balance by our grasping at preferences, by not being thrown off by the changing of the weather, internal, external, by not being thrown off in the face of adversity, by not being thrown off in the face of success. Samavriti, harmony, same way. To not be thrown off in the presence or absence of love, feeling grounded and rooted in your own internal love. To feel harmony in your voice, not just melodically, but in how you use that voice. Knowing when to speak, when not to speak, when it would be useful, when it won't be useful. Samavriti, harmony in mind, knowing when you're being guided by your intuition versus when you're being guided by some part of you that thinks it's your intuition. One more breath here. And with your next inhale, carefully come up. Now, I gave you a lot to think about there. So we're going to transition into Shavasana now. So go ahead and make yourself ready. You can bring any support where you need it. You can prepare your space in any way that you'd like to. Take your time. And then allow yourself to relax once you're on your back. And I'd like you to become aware of your body, the space occupied by your body. Become aware of the space just off of the surface of your skin. And then sense the space just beyond that, illuminated with light. Feel your breath in your nostrils. With your inhale, through the nostrils, draw in two streams of that light and have it meet or converge at your brain center, very center of the head. Then exhale, see that light move back out through the nostrils. Inhale that light again through the nostrils, meeting at the brain center. And exhale that light moving back out again, and continue to see that movement of light moving evenly through both nostrils, meeting at the center of the brain, then moving back out again. And anytime your mind moves from that, bring it back to that. peace, peace, peace. Please begin to take a deeper, fuller breath. Bring that gentle movement back to your body, wiggling of the fingers and hands, toes and feet, gentle awakening of the arms and legs. And when you feel ready, go ahead and roll to your right side. And then go ahead and come on up to a comfortable seat. So I've saved a little bit of extra time at the end of our class today because we're going to spend just a bit more practice with Nadi Shodhana, especially with all the work we've done so far. I want you to have a really strong experience of it. And so to do that, we're going to start where or we're going to end where we began with Kapalabhati. We'll practice Kapalabhati, the breath of fire, for about 1 minute, so about 60 seconds. After that, we'll establish a steady samavriti rhythm, one that feels good for your body. It's not the deepest breath you ever took. It's also not the lightest breath you ever took. And then once that is established, we'll then practice balanced Nadi Shodhanam, and I'll lead you through that. After doing that for about 10-ish rounds, we'll then just be aware of what is at that point, okay? So sitting tall, again, Kapalabhati happens from the abdomen. Go as quickly or slowly as your practice indicates for you this evening. And yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Hands on the knees. Take a deep breath in and out. And then take a deep breath in to begin Kapalabhati. Take a deep breath in and out slowly. Stay inward. Feel the breath adjust. And when the breath starts to feel a bit steadier, make it just a bit steadier by bringing in sama vritti pranayama, the even breath. Inhaling for a certain number of counts. And exhaling for an equal number of counts. Bring your right hand into Vishnu Mudra. After you complete this next exhale, block the right nostril. Keep the breath samavriti. Inhale left. Out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In right. Out left. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. One more round. In left. Out right. In right. And out left. Release the palms, stay inward. You can relax all techniques now. Just stay inward for a moment. What you may feel is a softness to your consciousness. The mind is a little less intense than it was an hour ago. Though there may be sensations in your body, even ones that are uncomfortable, the level of suffering attached to that discomfort is lessened. The frenetic movements of energy feel a bit more stable. And it might even feel like your mind is just a bit more open. Whatever open means to you, open to source, intuition, open to ideas, creativity, or just open. And know that when and if you move from this state of balance, that you have a few tools to help bring you back to that balance. There's Kapalabhati, there's Samavriti, and there's Nadi Shodhana. Use these tools. So from there, take a deeper, fuller breath. Bring your palms together and bow to that balance. And may all of your work here tonight and this practice keep you in balance. Until next time, namaste.